Sean, you gotta stop talking.
Hello, my audience today consists of my sister and her boyfriend, my brother who's recording, my parents, one of our really good family friends, and my boyfriend. My name is Holly Thompson, and I am making a toast to my friend Marie and her soon-to-be husband Chris. They're getting married on June 26th. When I first met Marie, I didn't know anything about her. I was at the pool, and she was the local manager, and I was hanging out with one of my friends and my cousin. We were all just hanging out and having a good time, and she came up to me and my friend after my cousin left and asked if he was some really creepy dude trying to hit on us young girls. I got defensive and snapped back with, "That's my cousin." I thought that was the end of that after she let us go. Well, if anyone knows Marie, they know that she always comes back like a bad habit. After I got my first horse catcher, my parents ran into someone who trained horses, not to mention who only lived 5 miles from my house. Lo and behold, it was Marie. When my mom told me that she was the manager at the pool, I groaned and said, "Oh no, not that girl." But she came to meet Catcher, and from there everything changed. We were inseparable in the times that I could actually get a hold of her. Sometimes she was pretty sketchy and would call me at the last minute to ask me if I wanted to ride. She taught me a lot of things and gave me a lot of insight to life, and I'm glad that I met her. When I first met Chris, he was quiet and shy and didn't really talk much. I didn't know really anything about him and thought that he was not really the type for Marie, because anybody who knows Marie knows she doesn't shut up. But they have been through thick and thin together, and when they were down here in Kansas, they lived in a house that looked like the house off of The Grudge. You have to be in love with your boyfriend to live in a house like that. Not to mention the traveling they did together. Wherever Chris's job took them, Marie followed. Not many women would put up with that. They have 2 kids, not biologically theirs, but adopted. And I don't know all the details as to what has happened, but in order to adopt a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old and put up with the emotionally challenging things that they put up with on a daily basis, you have to have a strong foundation. A foundation that Marie and Chris definitely have. Now, as I said earlier, I don't know a lot about Chris, but one thing I do know about him is that he is terrified of rodents. He will scream like a little girl if any rodent is within his sight. Marie, on the other hand, is terrified of clowns. This is probably the best fear ever. I try to tease her about it every chance I get. Now, I'm wondering what would happen if a mouse was dressed up in a clown costume. That's something they definitely couldn't handle. Marie's a very ornery person. I recall we were out riding one day with a friend of mine and her dad, so there were 4 of us. Well, I was riding my horse, well, actually it was dark, below freezing, and we all had about 30 pounds of clothes on. And I was sitting behind the saddle of my horse, and I didn't have a hold of the reins because I trusted him. Well, Marie comes up behind me and slaps his butt with her rein, and he takes off at a fast trot. At this point, we're all laughing. I'm hanging onto the saddle and Catcher for dear life, as I'm underneath him and spurring him in the leg with my spur. And that wasn't helping my situation at all, so I bailed off of him. Needless to say, I did not sit behind the saddle the rest of the way home. Her ulterior motives were good. She was trying to see if I could stand unexpected situations. But I got back in the saddle, but I stayed in the saddle. It was probably one of the best memories I have of her and I riding. In the end, Marie and I have a great relationship. I love how I can just go to her and ask her any question, and she will tell me if I'm being stupid in any situation. And she's always called a spade, which means she will always call it how it is. Marie will always have some underlying reasons as to why she does things. And I wish her and Chris well in their marriage and believe wholeheartedly that I will be attending their 40th wedding anniversary someday.
Cheers.